Let's take refuge and set our intention for Bodhisattva. You may certainly choose to do whatever is meaningful for you, or join me in what I'm doing, which is meaningful for me. With a wish for all beings to be free, free of the contraction and constriction caused by held belief systems and thought patterns, free of the automatic reactivity of held and learned emotional patterns, and free of distorted perception. I will always go for refuge to alive, vibrant, radiant, spacious awareness until awareness is ongoing, like the flow of a river. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today, in the presence of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of any time and lineage, or none, I generate the mind for full awakening, for the benefit of all beings. As long as space remains, as long as beings remain, may I manifest in such a way to ease and dispel the miseries in the universe. Okay, trying to give those who are doing their own refuge prayer a chance to finish. So not to guilt anybody in any way, or just because I'd like to get a feel, because it will perhaps affect how we go in our meditation. Who knows? It's always new. Is anybody practicing this on their own on a regular basis? Regular being, I don't know, once a week, 5 times a week. Okay, thank you. Thanks. It's certainly nice to come in here and share this together. And it creates its own arising. I will, if you haven't, I mean, you're always welcome just to come in here. This may not be even one of the practices you want to do on your own. If it becomes a practice you want to do, even if you do it for 15 minutes, which will be hard to do, I think, because you'll get caught up in it. But maybe 15 minutes, you don't have to set yourself, oh, I need to spend this amount of time here. Just going through the 3 stages of the practice, pointing at the three kayas, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya, which are never separate. And you don't have to call them by those names, not necessary. I mentioned in my refuge taking the alive, vibrant, radiant, spacious awareness For me, that points at the union of, if you want, Dharmakaya and Sambhogakaya. Wisdom and compassion, emptiness and bodhicitta. We can put thousands of names on it. And it does not exclude Nirmanakaya because manifestations arise from that union. They're utterly intertwined, interdependent, the three kayas, which makes some sense since we're all interconnected, interdependent, all manifestation. So if you do choose to practice on your own, if you're not, you can control the time. Well, you can be in charge of the time that you take, where you rest. Some days we may want to rest in one aspect. Just never think that that aspect is the whole. Three kayas together. So if we were just to quickly point at them, we find a memory of, or perhaps you'll try this when your heart is feeling really open for whatever reason. Nice time to try it. Doesn't have to be that way. We just find it a memory of, don't have to hold on to the cause that brings that experience to mind. Could be music, could be hiking in the wilderness, could be your baby, could be your kitten, your puppy. It could just arrive spontaneously without anything you can tie it to. Just may have a waft of that wave of warmth, open-heartedness. Can't really be described. And having done our best to arise that, you can do the full visualization, which we will do today. But basically, you can allow, whether you visualize rays, you can simply visualize rays of light arising in the 6 center petals that carry the syllables of the mantra and expanding into all thousand petals of a lotus. But you don't have to visualize the lotus. What's important is that you experience the essence of this practice. Sometimes the full description and instructions on it help us. Sometimes we go, oh God, I don't want to do that again. Okay, find the essence. Repeating of the mantra is strongly suggested, but you don't have to. You've got to go the direction that you want to. If you're forcing yourself to do something when you're trying to access open-heartedness, it seems like it might be a bit of a contradiction. The mantra simply carries the sound of open-hearted, open-mindedness. The sound of Chenrezig, if you like that image. Kuan Yin. Any being that you experience as totally open-hearted, lacking that stronghold of self-protectiveness that most of us have. Having found that and allowing the rays of light with the sound, or you just lean into the sound of the mantra, the vibration when you say the mantra. I like all of it together. The light carrying the rays, the sound of the mantra, the sense of vibration, sensation of vibration that we feel within our body and that can then extend also in those rays of light. No limitation here. short version, as those rays of light, 1,000 of them, carrying the mantra. Perhaps for you, carrying the image of Chenrezig within. The sound, the sense of vibration, aliveness. Those rays are not made of anything other than your open-heartedness, which in this practice, in this moment, is pure open-heartedness, not static. You ever tried to hold on to love? Oh, gee, I really like this feeling. I just want to hold on to it. Have you ever tried to hold on to anything and found any success with that? So these waves, these rays, sounds, sensation are alive, vibrant, luminous, spacious, no limitation to where those rays can reach. As far as your imagination reaches, 1,000 rays of light can reach light. For me, it's very important to experience the moving quality of those rays, the moving quality of the sound. Where does the sound actually begin? Where does it end? Where does light begin? Where does it end? No hold. There's now been a scientific discovery, unexplained, but with some theories, that somehow there is a type of hum, which we could interpret however we want, but as the hum of sound and vibration, the vibration the sound makes, that seems to run through the universe. For a long time, the science said light can travel through and is present through the universe, but that it's silent. The universe is silent. Well, guess what? Now, the current theory is no, that's not actually true. Sound is carried through the universe. I don't know the right words. Present in the universe. Present in all that, what we call empty space out there. Kind of cool. So when you say the mantra and you have the light of the open-heartedness, and they're riding, shining, radiating out into the universe, there is no limit to where they may touch. To the edge of the universe, to the multiverse, inside to the smallest cell in your body, to, since we see a lot of the universe through, I want to get really technical because I'll mess it up terribly. We see it as though, and define it as we are seeing into the past, almost to the point of seeing the origin of the universe. There is no limitation of where these rays may go in time and space, into the past, the present, the future, imaginary time. Very expensive. There may be days, if you do this, that you just want to kind of focus on, oh, I don't know, maybe all the beings in fear at this moment. Perhaps you've been drawn to the suffering of soldiers or people in battle, or people being attacked in battle, or families of beings that are affected by adverse conditions. Some days, if you choose to do it, you want to open it up in every possible way. I don't know about you, but if we worry about counting, okay, I'm sending out 1,000 rays, this always makes me laugh, and they're touching beings. There's not a chance that I could possibly keep in my mind each individual 1,000 beings that my rays are touching. Maybe you can. That might be a fun practice. I have no idea, but I couldn't do it. So I just open it up. Any random 1,000 being. Every being has what's called Buddha nature. Every being, every form manifestation has the essence of Dharmakaya and Sambhogakaya, because that's where they arose from. We arose from. So we are sending the purest of our heart to the best of our ability, letting our heart open with the sound, with the visualization. And we're sending the pure essence of our heart, all beings are, out to touch 1,000 beings. And as we do that, 1,000 beings can relax. Their heart can open. Gets fed by those very rays, sounds, vibrations, and opens, and the same occurrence happens, where when we experience that and check it out for yourself, if you're lucky enough to rest into that essence, there is no strong separation of I and everything out there. There is no strong sense of time. Everybody has felt a moment of this open-heartedness, and then we attach it. Oh, it's my baby. Oh, it's the woods today. They're so beautiful. What if that is always present in every being, and we have so much piled on top of it, we can't experience it ongoing. We get scared, we contract. We get angry, we contract. We focus our love on one being who seems to be really screwing up in our estimation. We contract. To even link if you want, the expansion of our body when we breathe in. You could feel that air coming in into every part of your body. Utter expansion. Very easy practice. And when you breathe out, there's a contraction. Very natural. We don't even notice this. It's not wrong or bad. It's just our emotional protective contraction. Usually is happening because of things that aren't even occurring. They're what we think is occurring. Or something has hit a reactive emotion. So we're trying to gently let that just rest. Not bad, it's going to happen. Today we're resting more in the expansion. As those rays touch the 1,000 beings, and they relax and open, expand into the full essence, pictured as an open lotus, 1,000-petaled lotus. Some of those rays shine back, filling your heart, nurturing your heart. It's not their personalities that are reflecting back. It is the essence we all share. Not personality, not stories, not reactions. What's underneath all of that and always present, though we don't always notice it. Thus we practice. And as those 1,000 hearts open with the rays of light, the sound of mantra, the vibration of sound, sensation of sound, they touch 1,000 beings, and the same thing happens again. Until there is like an interconnecting web of light, sound, vibration. The analogy used is it's like a spider web, or any web where the intersection occurs. You might perceive a little node. That little node can be thought of as our part of us that thinks we're an individual. I'm a completely independently arising individual. That's me. For a moment, we can rest into the web of shared essence. Simple. If you choose to do the full sadhana, and sadhana being there's a PDF, I think, on the website that goes through Lama Lena's teaching. Very detailed. If that brings what's being pointed at alive for you, please go there and do that full kind of magical yidam practice. You can learn about the yidam. What are all the symbols? I am fairly sure, though I have not completely embraced that aspect of Tantra, maybe because I'm lazy, that if you will practice completely from the Tibetan method of learning the symbols, of following the patterns and words, this very same essence we're pointing at will open. But if you're not going to do that, too much time, the symbols don't mean anything to you, who cares what that symbol that Chenrezig is holding? I don't have the time to go completely into that like that. See how simple this practice can be. But you must bring your heart into it, the heart chakra into it, or it'll just be an intellectual practice. This is not an intellectual practice. There's no thing to understand. There's no thing to grasp. There's no thing to figure out. Simply whatever experience arises for you as you practice. You don't even have to call it practice. Maybe you'll say, I just want to rest for a moment away from all the noise. I just want to rest in something that feels more open, more present, more loving. What's that awareness of the interconnectedness, like the web, the sound intertwining, the sense of vibration, very important in my practice. That sense of alive movement, aliveness, vibration. I can't really define it. Radiance, luminosity, none of that is static. And as it starts to interconnect with beings, there is a refuge. There's no place for that refuge, but it is in no way separate from us. You may experience it almost as a tingly touch. Anything can arise in that refuge. The refuge, the actual refuge of Nirmana, called Nirmana. The name is not that important. When we name something, we will automatically make a limitation to it. And the next time we sit down, we may go, oh, I want to rest in Nirmanakaya. And we'll have a memory of what it was, and we'll try to rest there. And that won't work. So don't worry about the name. Don't worry about finding the same experience. It's always different, always fresh. And as we continue simply in this path, maybe you're resting there really quickly, or everything just seems to burst open. And everything's touching everything, intersecting with everything. How it's usually done is 1,000 rays of light, sound, vibration, touching 1,000 beings and onward until there are an infinite number of rays of light, touching an infinite number of beings. And there is no thing but radiant, luminous, alive light. There is no you looking at that light or experiencing that sound. Infinite light, sound, vibration. You, the you, are that light. If you're lucky enough to fall into that, and if you practice, the chances are you will. Where you don't make the you disappear, that won't work. Somehow you just tumble into what gets labeled luminosity, clear light, Sambhogakai, Bodhisattva. Let go of the labels. There is awareness, unlimited awareness. There is an awareness that may arise of life everywhere. Almost a sparkly sensation. Running through everything, not separate from anything. Impossible to describe. If this happy occurrence happens, happy accident happens, the describer that is constantly with us. It is the barrier between us and experience. It's the way we separate ourselves from experience. Habitual. Trying to protect ourselves. Come on. I see that. I think it's a danger. I name it tiger. It's outside and I'm inside. I'm not so worried. If we're both outside, I'm probably afraid. Look over here. The bird is singing. Oh, I like that. constantly check it out for yourself, describing our universe to ourselves. It's not bad, it's habitual, and it's extremely limiting. There is no noticing of anything other than a live awareness, which is just words. I cannot describe it. If the occurrence of falling in as light, again, no words. Until you have to pee, or something startles you, or perhaps you get a little nervous, the you that's still right there, when you grab that back, which you will, I promise, we always do, then you will notice and start describing what occurred. With no describer, there is really no sense of time. No idea. You'll probably have to look at your watch and go, oh my God, it's been an hour. No sense of separation. It's a hell of a refuge. And the part that may bring up some feeling of empathy or compassion, or you don't have to name that feeling either, is that we are that. We are never separate for an instant from that. Almost like a loving embrace, and we're the embracer, the act of embracing, and the embraced with no separation. Holy Christmas, what a refuge. And then, of course, we will grab it and try to get it back. The very things we try to do to protect ourselves, to be safe, to feel loved, are the very things that cause us to be unable to rest into the unchanging, always present refuge. And that may cause our heart to open even more. Oh my gosh. Look at us, and we're trying so hard. What's safe? What's not safe? What do I need? What do I not need? If I could just figure all this out, everything would be okay. Wouldn't be any different than it is right now. Kind of cool. When I am, any of us probably, when I contract for some reason, and I try to grasp at this refuge, damn it, it doesn't work. There's nothing to grasp. There's no thing to grasp, no thing to hold. The natural expansiveness and interconnectedness of the universe is always present. Maybe if I remember that when I breathe, I expand, I may rest into my breathing and then relax. But as long as I'm all tight and constricted and worried about what's happening to me, and go, I don't like this, I want something, I want that refuge, where is it? Can't grab it. Another strong reason for practice, or whatever you want to call it, so that I can be in the habit of falling into refuge, relaxing into refuge, being a part of refuge. We are refuge. We don't get desperate and try to grab on. Traditionally, here we would, well, if you're on your own doing this, you get to rest here as long as you want. Set an alarm if you need to, if you have an appointment. Nobody's going to say, oops, my battery's going to go dead, or we're going to run out of time, and move it along. Traditionally, two ways to continue this. One is to bring all of the rays, sound, vibration. Bring it back into the very center of your lotus or heart, where sits a little tiny seed syllable. Before we do that, the second way, or the other way, is to simply rest and the awareness of the spaciousness. There's no doing in this. Again, I think it comes from repetition. The expansiveness, the unbounded, unlimited awareness, aliveness, radiance, whatever you want to put in, to use words, has no limitation. When we first fall in a little bit, the awareness that arises may feel it's just sort of around us. Everything just seems a little more alive around us. Nope, that's the description after the experience. Truth, that aware aliveness permeates every bit of space in the universe, never separate, is utterly limitless, unbounded, unconditional. Perhaps nobody doing it, the very spaciousness. Where would this arise if there wasn't unlimited, non-dualistic, no dualism, no good, bad, up, down, an open Dharmakaya aspect of heart rhythm. No time, no place, no thing to hold on to. For me, I missed the radiant aliveness. And I tried resting in open spaciousness. Didn't receive that aspect, Sambhogakaya. Many of us Westerners miss it altogether. If the universe wasn't filled with the indescribable bodhicitta, alive awareness, manifestation would not arise. You are that awareness that can turn its attention towards the open spaciousness beyond duality. You are the awareness that can turn your attention, habit of doing it, to everything that's going around us. And the habits of how we have experienced life and the stories we have made about it will affect our perception of life. Yes, makes sense. Don't forget ever that you are the awareness that has the ability to turn its attention to pure awareness, radiant, alive awareness, instead of perpetually being trapped in the habits, the patterns, the learned patterns of this form. So you can notice the three kayas dancing, if you will. It's a way to rest. And when that passes, which we'll do today, is dedicate the mirror. Or you can bring all of the radiant light when your you returns, if you've fallen out of that. You really haven't gone anywhere. You have to kind of trust in them. Bring all the light back into the center of your heart, where sits a very small seed syllable, which is simply a symbol of the open-hearted, radiant aliveness. Symbol of Chenrezig. All of that light comes back, sound, vibration comes back into that tiny seed syllable. I always feel it like compacting so very tightly, until in an instant, the seed syllable dissolves. And you rest right there. Indescribable openness. Beyond all those patterns and not influenced by all those patterns and habits that we have. No thing to hold on to. And the children says no reference point. You are that. Infused, permeated with radiant, alive awareness. Then because we became form, the instinct of self-protectiveness arose. Not bad. The only thing I find in my experience that allows that instinct to start to relax naturally. You can't make it, don't try. It'll get stronger and stronger. It'll have so many tricks by calling you an idiot, by just whenever one pattern falls away, something will come back up to try to protect another pattern. You can watch them like whack-a-mole. You know that game where the moles just pop up and you try to whack them? You'll be whacking moles endlessly. Anything that I find that can allow that to relax naturally is not just alone open spaciousness beyond time and duality. For me, find out for yourself. The experience of true bodhisattva, if you want to call it that. Forget the names afterward. I have to point with something. Limitless, unconditioned, unconditional, beyond what any aspect, what any sense of love we have. Fills that spaciousness. And you have never once been separate from it. Maybe end with that Thich Nhat line. Enlightenment for a wave is when it recognizes its water. Isn't that nice? You are the indescribable, unlimited space. Beyond duality. You are the alive radiance. These are the true refuges that never change. And I encourage all of us to have that sense, that experiential experience. Come on now. Again and again and again, to let go to have it, till we are certain. And when this form dissolves, which it will, you spend your whole life trying to protect it, but your life as you know it in this form will die, will dissolve. When you dissolve, perhaps the wave of this openness will be familiar enough that when your form dissolves, you will recognize it and rest into it. It's worth a try, right? I call it going home, a home which you've never left. You just get a little confused. Enough words for today, I think. The term used to end any practice is dedication of merit. I see that as little gold stars somehow. So it's a hard term for me. All it means to me is whatever arose here by us all being together. This is our creation, our experience together as it arose. Not all the same for each of us. Never mind. I'm not going to confuse myself. Whatever arose today by our being together, may we not grasp onto it, try to make it ours, but just let it radiate out into the universe as it naturally will. Stop grasping. Stop trying to understand. Just let it expand into the universe, touching all beings. May all beings have such experiences of at least a moment of freedom from the confusion of our believing and holding on to our thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. May all of us keep walking together. Oh, so thankful you were here today. Thank you so much. Till next time, I'll get a little bit of my mind together here and thank our translators. And of course, thank you all.